Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on 7 News. We begin with breaking news tonight. A person was flown to the hospital following a shooting in Anderson this evening. Anderson police say it happened on Arlington Avenue. We're told a suspect is in custody at this time. The coroner is aware of the situation, but we'll continue to follow this story and bring you the very latest as we learn it. In Polk County, the sheriff's office there says a woman and her boyfriend are charged with abusing a 5-month-old. Deputies say Maggie, Reagan, and Hoyle were arrested after the child was admitted to the hospital with severe injuries. The sheriff's office tells us Hoyle was caring for the baby when they said they became unresponsive. Regan is accused of driving the 5-month-old to the hospital herself instead of calling emergency services. Deputies say that child is still in an intensive care unit. Reagan and Hoyle have been released on bond and ordered to not have contact with that child.
The residents in Greenwood County were rattled early this morning as 4 minor earthquakes struck within the span of an hour. The strongest, a magnitude 3, hit near the Saluda River. Officials say the tremors may have caused light shaking and minor movement of unsecured items, but no major damage was reported. The quakes range from 1.5 to 3 in magnitude.
A South Carolina death row inmate convicted of killing 2 law enforcement officers was back in court, part of a competency hearing to determine if his execution will move forward. Julia Keener was there.
After hours of expert testimony, the judge didn't make a ruling, but in a rare move, death row inmate Stephen Bixby was allowed to speak for himself in court.
I'm just tired. I'm absolutely positively tired. There's no need of this. This shouldn't have gone on as far as it had.
Bixby was convicted in 2007 for killing Abbeville County Sheriff's Deputy Danny Wilson and State Constable Donnie Oots.
I've been railroaded since day one. They know.
Stephen Bixby's execution was set for May, but was halted by the South Carolina Supreme Court. His defense team is asking for a stay. They tell us Bixby's mentally unstable and can't understand the evidence against him.
He's got an enduring pattern of thoughts. He's not in control of that. It's not a choice he made, and it prevents him from cooperating with us in any rational manner.
Experts Thursday said Bixby's bizarre beliefs keep him from understanding basic legal procedures. But Friday, another expert testified she believes he does understand.
He doesn't want to die, but if his death is part of this, he's kind of, so be it. He can deal with it, and he does understand that after these proceedings, if he were to be found competent, that he may very likely get an execution date, even though he believes he's innocent.
The state is being represented by the South Carolina Attorney General's office alongside the 8th Circuit Solicitor's office, which handled Bixby's original trial. They argue he is competent and hope once a ruling is made, his execution will be carried out as soon as possible.
This man knows understands his conviction, he understands his sentence, and he can communicate with his lawyers. He chooses to have the beliefs he has. You know, this idea that he is somehow forced into this position and these positions and can't help himself is absurd.
We're told the judge could make a decision in the next few weeks, but attorneys expect this case will likely end up in the Supreme Court. In Greenville, Julia Keener, 7 News.
A closer look at the cost of child care. A new report shows South Carolina losing nearly $1 billion a year because parents can't afford child care. Laura Miller spoke with the Child Care Center and parents about it.
The families tell us the struggle to find affordable and reliable child care is forcing them to make tough decisions like cutting back hours or leaving jobs altogether.
Without adequate child care, parents cannot work. Parents are foregoing promotions. Parents are not able to continue higher education because they're getting calls from child care or can't find child care.
LaVonda Paul is the principal and owner of Small Impressions, and she's been running her child development center in Taylor's for 19 years. She says over the years, she's noticed how child care facilities are growing scarce.
A lack of quality child care centers, a lack of support from government when it comes to helping us sustain child care centers and finding quality staffing.
A new study by the U.S. Department of Commerce in partnership with the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce and DSS shows a gap in child care. It states parents are being driven out of the workforce. That reduces tax revenue and puts a strain on households. As a result, the state is losing $997 million each year from parents leaving jobs and not paying for child care. Instructor Tammy Frierson says it comes down to trusting the center and affordability.
You know, you're leaving your child here for 8 hours a day. It wants to be somebody you can trust, and is that affordable?
Researchers also found that parents are spending an average of $576 a month in childcare. Parent Katina Carter says someone she knows is going through a similar situation.
It's been a struggle, and then if you try to get, some assistance to help, it's a struggle when you're a single parent or if you're married, because like she said, daycare is very expensive. It's more than your mortgage, more than your rent.
The study went on to say that each dollar represents money taken from the pocketbook of a family, business, or government in South Carolina.
State leaders say employers can also play a big role in bridging the gap with childcare, like helping with childcare assistance or accommodations. In Taylor's, Lauren Miller, 7 News.
The report showed almost 40% of parents in school or job training had to cut back or drop out because of child care issues.
Clemson's first game is just around the corner, and this year fans may notice some changes. The university has switched things up a bit. 7 News' Ariana Meadows explains.
Next Saturday, the Clemson Tigers will kick off here at Death Valley. The university says fans need to know about a few changes before game day.
Game days at Death Valley are crazy, and they're so electric, especially night games. So LSU is going to be really fun. The energy is just crazy, and then the students get really excited, but then we also have the town itself that gets really into it as well. So it's really cool.
To improve the game day experience, Clemson University has added handrails on the lower level of the stadium for safety.
For people to be able to get up and down is something that was asked. The stadium and the lower part of it was built in the 40s, and so there's a lot of updates that it had needed, and this is one that we've consistently received over time.
Clemson has a long-time tradition that's getting switched up a bit this year.
The tradition is everybody meets at the paw after the game clock has ended. So everybody starts jumping over the barriers and everybody's running towards the paw with all the players. And then basically after that, we play alma mater.
Leaders tell me the Atlantic Coast Conference has a new rule, which states only student athletes, coaches, and authorized personnel are allowed on the field before, during, and after the game is over.
What we're asking our fans to do is to wait until after the alma mater to come and join us on the field. So it's going to be a little bit different. It won't just be quite like when clock hits 0. We're really asking people to wait and to come on. There are significant fines that are associated with it, but we also want to make sure that the visiting team has the opportunity to be able to get off the field.
Another change, alcohol is allowed inside the stadium. There will be designated kiosks to purchase drinks, but with a 2-drink limit. New this year is a program partnered with the South Carolina of Public Safety to create a designated driver program.
In the lower bowl over by gate 13 and then in both of the upper decks, those folks that are going to be designated drivers for their group can actually go over. They're able to register. They'll get a wristband. They'll sign a covenant saying that they plan to be a designated driver that day.
Concessions is also going cashless this year. You will only be able to use your card or mobile payment. In Clemson, Ariana Meadows, 7 News.